Welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning. Back on the topic of the NFL today, Jay and I talking Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and we're going to be predicting their record in 2021, obviously coming off of a Super Bowl win. I think this team has we have high expectations for this team in 2021. Before we get into that video, question of the day, and that is coming in an NFC South showdown between Mike Evans and Michael Thomas. Who would win in a fight? Comment below, and at the end of the video, Jay and I will give you our winners for that matchup. But Jay, obviously the schedule is not in any particular order yet, no dates announced, but we do have who they'll be playing, starting with the Atlanta Falcons at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome at Atlanta. Who will be winning that football game?
This one, I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I do think the Falcons will be better this year. Julio Jones will hopefully be healthy. We saw how big of a jump Calvin Ridley took. I still believe in Matt Ryan. And I think on defense, it was a tragedy last year and still won't be great this year, but they will be progressing. They'll fix it in the draft. And I think their new head coach, Arthur Smith, will be a click, but still there will be a lot of holes, a lot of new players, and a lot of hopeful injuries to prevent that I just think we're asking for too much for them to go out and beat the best team in the NFL. I got the Buccaneers taking a win here.
Yeah, the Bucs-Falcons for me is always a pretty good game. I think the Falcons are capable of putting up a lot of points. Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, who hopefully healthy this year. I do think that the Bucs will take this game pretty easily, but I do think it'll be a 31-21 type of game. It won't be a blowout and it won't be low scoring, but I do have the Bucs taking this game. Next game we got at North Carolina against the Panthers.
Similar thing. I think the Panthers will be better, but I think they're going to draft a rookie quarterback in the first round, and even if they don't, I don't believe in Teddy Bridgewater to take on the GOAT, and even if they do, I like Trey Lance, I like Justin Fields, I like Zach Wilson. When none of those guys in their rookie year are going to be able to take down the GOAT, I got the Buccaneers definitely winning this matchup.
Right, I agree. I'm hoping the Panthers take a quarterback, and if they don't, you got Teddy Bridgewater, who I like a lot, but I don't think he's got enough to beat the Bucs. I think the Bucs offense is better and the defense is certainly better, so I'm going to have the Bucs taking this one in a pretty commanding way. So the next game we got Rams at SoFi.
This is where the Bucs get their first loss, in my opinion. Not to say the Bucs aren't the better team, but I just think in the regular season, the Bucs, I think, sometimes no one goes a perfect season. I think this tough opponent with a great defense and a brand new offensive weapon in Matt Stafford, I think he's going to get the edge on Tom Brady. But just because I have the Rams winning a regular season doesn't mean I don't think the Bucs will take him down in the postseason. I like Matt Stafford, and I'm even kind of rooting for him to do well, and I think he will beat the Bucs. But in the end, I do have the Bucs being the better team. But for the regular season, Rams all the way.
Yeah, I think the Rams will come out on top of this one. I do think the Bucs might start off a little slow this year. This will be a very good game and a hopeful playoff matchup we see. And what I have happening, like similar to what Jay said, is the Rams taking matchup 1, which sets up a revenge game in the playoffs that Tom Brady will eventually win. So I do have the Rams actually taking this regular season game and giving the Bucs a loss. So the next game, the awaited return of Tom Brady to Foxborough against the New England Patriots.
I have them losing to the New England Patriots, in my opinion. I've just said it before. Yeah, Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, between the divorce, Tom Brady 100% won that divorce. But Bill Belichick has such a huge chip on his shoulder. I think he's going to spend weeks and weeks in advance to do film study to go out and beat Tom Brady. He just has a huge chip on his shoulder. Not to say Tom Brady doesn't want to beat Bill Belichick just as bad, but him just coming off a glorified season of him winning the Super Bowl, he couldn't be higher up in his, status of how well things are going. I just think Bill Belichick has such a bigger incentive and so much to play for. I think the Bucs will put up a great game and they won't get blown out. But I have the Patriots' brand new team, free agency, and Bill Belichick's coaching staff taking down the Bucs.
For me, there's no way that Tom Brady goes back to Foxborough and doesn't win this game and doesn't prove that he was the reason why the Patriots were so good. I got the Bucs taking this game, getting their third win of the season. I think that Tom Brady, I think the offense is better. I think their defense is better than the Patriots will be. I think everything about the Bucs team will be better. I think Tom Brady will go back to his home stadium, which he has played at for so many years and played great football there, and I think he takes this game over the Patriots. Next game, first game against the Saints at the Superdome.
God, this is a rough start for me and the Buccaneers, but I had them losing to the New Orleans Saints. I just think Jameis Winston is going to steal a game. I think it's a division rivalry. I still think the Saints has an overall good team. They have a great foundation, with Cameron Jordan and Marshawn Lattimore on defense, and on the offense, you still got Michael Thomas, who, when healthy, is the top receiver in the league, Alvin Kamara, and I do think Jameis Winston will improve. I think it'll be a great game. And really, I am expecting Jameis to be better, but I could be wrong. If he's the same guy, Bucs are taking the win, but I am confident that he will improve, and I do think they steal a game from the Buccaneers.
We know that Jameis can put up 300 yards, 400 yards in a game, but he's bound to turn the ball over. I think the Bucs take this game at New Orleans. I think they owe the Saints a regular season sweep, just like they were handed to last year by the Saints. And now without Drew Brees, I do think the Saints will take a step down from where they were last year. So I got the Bucs taking this one, getting their 4th win of the season. Next, we got the Jets at MetLife.
Now, let's just say I do like what the Jets are starting to build. I think they'll possibly take a quarterback in the draft, Zach Wilson. I do think their new head coach, Robert Saleh, could be better, and I think they can be improving. But they are nowhere near close to competing with the Super Bowl champions and possibly the greatest team in the NFL. I'm definitely going to do the Bucs here. They're just too stacked on offense and defense. I don't think the Jets have a shot.
Yeah, Jets I think will be hopefully improving. I have them taking an O-lineman overall, sticking with Sam Darnold, or a second overall, sorry. And hopefully that offense gets better, but I don't think they'll be ready for the Bucs. The Bucs team should be the best, or one of the best teams in football. The Jets just aren't quite ready. That gives the Bucs their 5th win. Next game, you got the Eagles at Philly.
I'm definitely going to go with the Bucs here. I like what Jalen Hurts is, but I don't believe in their head coach, Nick Sirianni. They lost their receiving core, Alshon Jeffrey, Deshaun Jackson. Zach Ertz doesn't even want to play there. Buccaneers, easy win, definitely. They're playing the whole NFC East division, and I think this is the worst team in that division.
I think the Eagles will be a little better than he gives them credit for. I think Jalen Hurts will be solid, but not good enough to beat the Bucs. On both sides of the ball, offense and defense, the Bucs should outmatch the Eagles. Like you said, the Eagles losing their receivers. Jalen Hurts really the shining star of that franchise, and just one quarterback can't make a team good. So I think the Bucs took this one pretty easily. Next, you got the Falcons now at home at Raymond James.
Same thing. I think it'll be a great game. It's a division game, and I like Matt Ryan and Julio Jones. To me, if those two are always healthy, the Falcons are never a team to just blow off and not be worried about. But Tom Brady doesn't have just one threat like Matt Ryan does and Julio Jones, and I guess Calvin Ridley, but Tom Brady has an excessive amount of threats with Mike Evans, possibly Antonio Brown, Rob Gronkowski, Chris Godwin, Scotty Miller, Tyler Johnson, list goes on. Buccaneers are going to outplay them in offense and defense.
I actually think the Falcons will take this game. I know the Falcons, like I said, they always play the Bucs pretty well, and we know Julio and Matt Ryan, the combo of them, are capable of putting up 35-plus points, and I think somehow they sneak up on the Bucs and take this game. I think they're bound to split with Atlanta. That's what I got, so giving the Bucs their 2nd loss. Next, we got Carolina at Raymond James.
Same exact thing. I still need to know who the quarterback's going to be, and until then, even if no matter who it is, unless there's a Deshaun Watson trade, I like the Buccaneers to beat them, and I think Christian McCaffrey is going to come out and possibly be a candidate for comeback player of the year, and he's definitely not going to make it a fun game for the Buccaneers, and he's still going to probably put up 35 fantasy points, but I think the Bucs are going to seriously have a top 5 defense, and Christian McCaffrey isn't going to be able to carry the load and win the game. I got the Bucs definitely going 2-0 against the Panthers.
Yeah, similar situation to the first game. I like Teddy. I like whatever quarterback they might draft, but they're just not going to be good enough to beat this Bucs team, and I think the Bucs will sweep the Panthers. That's what I got. Next, the Saints now at home.
I had Jameis Winston get lucky one time. It's not going to happen again. I have them splitting the series with the Bucs and the Saints taking a loss here and Bucs taking a win to split the series. I like Jameis Winston. I think he will be able to improve, but there's no way he goes back to Tampa and acts like he's the top dog there. This is Tom Brady's home now, and he's going to prove it. Tom Brady gets a win here over the Saints.
Yeah, I think the Saints are going to sweep. The Bucs are going to sweep the Saints. I had them taking the first game at the Superdome. I have them taking this one at Raymond James. I think they have something to prove to the Saints, and I do think. I don't think there's any bitterness between the Bucs and Jameis Winston at all, but I do think that they're going to show him that he should have stayed a Buc if he could have. Yeah. So that's what I got. I got them beating the Saints for the 2nd time of the year. Next, we got the Cowboys at Raymond James.
I am not a believer in the Cowboys. I know you like their offense, but even that I am not a fan of.
I do like their offense.
You're overpaying for Amari Cooper, $20 million a year. He's not producing anything. CeeDee Lamb, that's a good pick. Can't deny that. But Ezekiel Elliott, he's dropped off. You're paying these guys top three money of their position, and they're not even really in the top 5 or top 10 at this point. So therefore, I just think you're overpaying for an offense that's not putting anything together, and I think you're overpaying on defense. And the Bucs, they're absolutely executing the cap situation to every single position. Dallas Cowboys, they're not managing well, and I like the Bucs to win a dominant game.
Yeah, I see this being a perfect example of a guy like Tom Brady who has taken pay cuts his entire career and is the best ever, versus a guy like Dak, who I like but did hold out for money and take that cap space away from the rest of the team. I think this would be a perfect example of why that was a bad idea, and I think the Bucs win this game at home against the Cowboys commandingly. The Giants now at home, a team that almost should have beaten the Bucs last year.
Yeah, I got to say, Daniel Jones plays the Giants well. 2 years ago in his rookie year, I think he put up 4 touchdowns against us when Jameis Winston was there. Last year, he almost beat us in Monday Night Football and kind of messed up on a final drive in the last minute. But overall, he plays us well. However, and they did add additions, Kenny Galladay and Adoree Jackson. But like I said, Tom Brady versus Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones plays us well, but you're never going to outplay the GOAT. I'm going to go with Tom Brady and the Buccaneers all around.
Yeah, I think the Giants are a team that should be getting better. Defense gotten better. Got Kenny Galladay. Daniel Jones should be better this year. And they could have won that game last year, but I think that was a fluke, and I think the Bucs take this one pretty commandingly, especially at home against a Giants team that really shouldn't be that good, giving them their 10th win in my projected record. Next, we got the Bills at Raymond James.
I had the Bucs winning this one. I do think the Buffalo Bills are going to be a good team, but they've been kind of quiet this offseason, really haven't added much. Emmanuel Sanders, they still need to fix their run game. They need to fix their pass rush, and I think they can fix that in the NFL draft, but I still don't think, even if they hit the draft dead on, hit a home run in the draft, I don't think they're going to be drafted well enough to outmatch what the Buccaneers did in free agency, and that is bringing the gang back together. I got the Buccaneers winning over the Bills in a great game, though.
Yeah, Bills-Bucs, I think this will be a great matchup. I think this is one that I actually have the Bills taking. Obviously, one of the best offenses in the league in Buffalo. Defense, solid, I would say, not great. But I think this is a game that Josh Allen can outshoot Tom Brady and win a 40-38 type of game. So I think I have the Bucs taking an L here. Next, we got Miami at Raymond James.
I am going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't believe in Tua Tagovailoa. Overall, I believe in the team around him, like I did with the Giants, but there's no way Tua and Daniel Jones outplay Tom Brady, and I just have to go down to the quarterback, not to oversimplify it. And yeah, Miami might have a top 5 defense, but so do the Buccaneers, and that was your biggest thing Tua could rely on. But when the Bucs have that themselves, that is going to be an issue, especially when that pass rush comes towards Tua Tagovailoa. He's not good under pressure.
Yeah, I think the Miami Dolphins kind of have Tom Brady's numbers based off his time in the AFC East with the Patriots. The Dolphins somehow seem to pull off wins over the Patriots in crazy ways, but I don't think that's going to happen this time. I think Tom Brady and the Bucs are just too good all around on every side of the ball, and just the Dolphins are kind of lacking with the lack of a veteran presence or great presence behind under center with Tua. I like Tua, but he's young, and you just look at the matchup. Tua versus Brady. I think Brady takes this win, especially at home, over the Miami Dolphins. Next, we got Chicago Bears at Raymond James.
I like what the Chicago Bears have all around. Their defense is good. Eddie Jackson, Khalil Mack, and the offense isn't bad with Kenny Galladay and David Montgomery's kind of an underrated running back, but there's no way in hell Andy Dalton goes out and beats Tom Brady. It's just too simple, and like I said, I know it's oversimplifying. That's sometimes all it takes is to look at who the quarterback matchup is. Buccaneers won it.
Yeah, the Bears, good defense, not sold on their offense. Poor Allen Robinson getting franchise tagged, still doesn't have a quarterback. Don't have a lot of faith in Andy Dalton, and I just think that's going to continue. I don't like the Bears beating the Bucs. There's a better way to say it. I like the Bucs over the Bears 100%, especially at home, giving them their 12th win. Last game of the year, or at least based off this list, the Washington football team at Washington.
This will be a fun game for sure. But really, I don't know who the starting quarterback is. Is it Ryan Fitzpatrick? And he goes out and throws for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions, or 300 yards, 0 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions? Or a third option is a Taylor Heineke, and he gave us hell of a fight in the wild card
Arguably
round.
best game, our best game of the playoff.
So now a Taylor Heineke, who gave us a fight before, now has an extra receiver in Curtis Samuel, has an extra receiver in Adam Humphries. The defense is only going to get better after they added William Jackson. It could be a great game, but overall, I don't think Taylor Heineke or Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to take down Tom Brady, another quarterback matchup that just goes way too much in the Bucs' favor.
Yeah, this is perfect time. This is when Tom Brady's going to be getting into postseason form, and I just don't see any reason or any way the Bucs don't win this football game. Great defense in Washington, 100%. Offense, not so well. Offense is pretty good. It's really quarterback that I'm not too sold on. Yes, Taylor Heineke showed he has some talent. Yes, Ryan Fitzpatrick he's awesome. He's just Ryan Fitzpatrick. But neither of them are going to be good enough to beat this Bucs team. So I do have the Bucs winning this game. I think it'll be kind of low scoring, maybe a 24-17, 2017 game. But I have the Bucs coming out on top. And that is the entire schedule, Jay. Who do you got? What do you got record-wise?
13-3 is it for me.
That's what I got as well. So 13-3 looks like what we got for the Bucs. I think this is very realistic based off how they played last year. What were they, 11-5 last year?
Yeah, I think they'll get a first-round bye this year.
Yeah, that is very, very possible, especially with 13 wins. I mean, I guess the Chiefs are probably good for 13 or 14 as well, but we'll have to see. Sorry.
Well,
yes, the Packers, sorry.
But even then, like you said, the Bills went 13-3 last year.
Yeah.
The Chiefs bumped them out.
That's true. So maybe 13-3 is a bad omen, but I do think the Bucs will get 13 wins and really, really go into the playoffs super, super hot. But as far as the question today, Jay, Michael Thomas versus Mike Evans. Who you got?
I got to go with Mike Evans. He's already kind of a fighter when it comes to the Saints. You see he picks it with Marshawn Lattimore every time they match up, and I think he could take Michael Thomas. Not to say he doesn't have fighting experience himself when he was called Slant Boy, but I'm a Bucs homer, and I got to go with the Bucs guy in this one.
I'm going to go Mike Evans as well. I think Michael Thomas puts on kind of a front. He likes to talk a lot of shit and get in fights. And I think Mike Evans is the opposite. I think he's got a lot of fight in him, but he likes to lay low until it's needed. So I think you put him in the ring. I like Mike Evans or Michael Thomas also. Guys, thanks for watching. 2-Minute Warning.